Okay, with Maddison out, what is Ange going to do in terms of putting in that creative player? Do we already have that player in a guy like putting Decky there? Can Betancourt play there? We don't know if Lascelles. So I think that's one of the most important things because he's out for what, another 10 games or a
Do we
bunch
know
of.
this? I've been meaning to check. How long is Madison out for? Confirmed.
Don't know.
Do we have any idea?
Till January at least, apparently. So that's what, 6 games at least
The
Till
nearest
January,
player,
meaning for the rest of the year.
for the
Yeah,
rest of
for the
2023. Yeah,
the
But-
nearest player we've got to Maddison is Jamie Donnelly, who has got a very, very sweet left foot, and some of his through passes are absolutely sumptuous in the young games. But before you say anything, Matt, I'm not sure whether his all-round game is good enough. But I have been very impressed with what I've seen him.
Okay. So what about more
That's
realistic than that? Because he's not going to come in right now.
thing
What
with
about
very
I
quickly
mentioned-
touching on Jamie Donnelly, you look at him against players around his own age, under 21s, he looks excellent. As soon as he steps up against players, the Peterboroughs, the Cambridge Uniteds, players who are a bit older, he has struggled in every single one. And I think he needs a loan. For me, I think Højbjerg was given the nod in the last game because he's come on and done well as a substitute in previous games. And I think Ange looked at it and said, okay, you did a job. He actually looked pretty good against Chelsea a lot of the game. I think Ange looked at him and said, you've come on, you've done a job, go out there and do that kind of job against Wolves. And he didn't. I thought he was much more negative. He was much more, he held himself back a lot more. At one point, he was playing alongside Bissouma as the second number 6. And I was like, what's he doing?
He looked more like a double pivot there,
Yeah.
But the whole midfield was the problem, right? I mean, Bissouma didn't have a good game either. Bissouma was no better than Højbjerg. But then one or the other, right? The problem was that we were playing both at once. And I've heard it said, and I've been one of the people saying this, that Højbjerg is a better player if he's released, allowed to attack.
Absolutely.
But that only works if he actually does it. So just stay on the pitch.
The interesting thing for me was Sarr seemed to be playing the Maddison role.
He was up further,
He was pushed up much further, and we didn't get to see enough of that. But I thought Højbjerg was playing too deep. Højbjerg should have been playing the Maddison role. I thought Sarr should have just been left to continue doing the job he's done so well this season. He's been excellent. I thought Bissouma was scared to get a booking, knowing that it would put him out of the next game, which he then ended up getting the booking, and he looked a better player after he got booked. Yeah. So there were so many things going on in that midfield, and the midfield really let us down.
And I have to say, Royale, a special negative mention for Royale, because sometimes when he plays in this inverted fullback role, he's just all over the place. He seemed to be playing like inside right back, not inside left. He was on the other side of the pitch so much of the time. He doesn't seem to understand that an inverted fullback, you have to keep on your half of the pitch. It's like but be like quarter of the pitch width over, not 3/4 of the pitch width over. And he was just wandering around all over the place. So I thought he doesn't really seem to know what he's supposed to do. And given that these players are basically midfielders, then you end up with like Royale, Højbjerg, Bissouma, and Porro doing a reasonable job, all in the same kind of areas, playing across this area with, it just becomes a real mess. I think, Maddison does well, and he's an excellent player. I agree with Ash. Yeah, I agree with you, Ash. That's my turn. Maddison is a great player. He knows where to be. He's a high quality player in every respect. Great judgment, great skill. He's a really important player for us already. And he knows when to come deep and then when to move. In and out of the back four. Don't go loitering. Don't go sitting deep like Højbjerg was doing.